All right, so today's the day we're going to actually start Unit 2. And when I mean Unit 2, we are going to actually talk about author's purpose, and then we're going to look at a specific purpose for writing. Okay, so first we need to practice what author's purpose is. Well, author's purpose is the reason an author actually decides to write something. So think about getting pied in the face. That's going to be your clues, your acronym to help you. So P stands for to persuade. And what do I mean by persuade? I mean, this is when the author is trying to convince the reader of something. So there's a lot of things that we do or we see that convince people to do things like commercials, articles, brochures, even speeches where they're saying, you can do it also because I'm doing it. So let's look at an example. It's new, it's cool and refreshing. It's a super duper watermelon milkshake. This is the best milkshake ever, made on the earth, and it tastes just like watermelon. It's so sweet that you should drink it and make you extremely smart in school. Try one today. So, you know that this is trying to get you to um, drink a watermelon milkshake because it's saying that, whoops, let me get my little bit. It's going to make you extremely smart. It is saying things that will appeal to you. It's the best milkshake ever. You need to try one today. So, all these are trying to convince you to drink this milkshake. So, another type of author's purpose is to inform. And this is when the author is giving the reader just information about a topic. It's giving facts, directions, or just straight information. So, this is textbooks, nonfiction, and like articles. So, for example, bobcat Felis rufus is found only in North America and is the most common wild cat found here. It is twice as large as a house cat with a yellowish brown fur, black markings, white belly, and pointed ears. Its name comes from its bobbed or stubby tail that is about 57 inches long. The bobcat's average weight is 15 to 30 pounds, 35 pounds, and is the male is larger than the female. It waits in the trees to pounce, and its prey, which includes rodents, rabbits, squirrels, and birds. The bobcat cats live in swamps, forests, farmlands, and bushy areas. So this is giving us actually a bunch of facts. It's telling us our bobcat, where it lives, um, how large it is. It has a stubby tail that's 57 inches long, pointed ear, white belly. Its average weight is 15 to 35 pounds. Um, the males are larger, what they eat. So all of these you can list and turn into facts. So this is giving us information, which makes it informational. The next one is E, and this is to explain. And this is when the author writes the steps of how to follow something. So, for example, recipes and directions, maybe directions of how to get somewhere, directions how to build something. However, you normally see steps or it's kind of written in a paragraph form of how to do something. So, for example, this is a cookbook recipe. So, it's saying step one, use room temperature ingredients, line your cake pans with parchment paper, let the cake cool completely, and refrigerate and decorate. So this is how to make a cake. So you've probably actually written a lot of these in elementary school, maybe like how to eat a peanut butter and jelly, how to blow a bubble. So this is where you're just listing and explaining how to do something. The next one is E, to entertain, and this is when the author writes something that the reader will enjoy. So this is actually what we just got done reading in our fictional analysis of Unit 1. So these are fiction and narratives or stories. So for example, last weekend Kyle and Carson and his cousin were camping by a small pond near Kyle's house. They had been fishing all morning and getting a single bite. Suddenly, there was a nibble on the end of Kyle's fishing line, and the float went completely out of sight. Kyle stood up in a small boat and leaned over the edge of the boat to try and see a big fish on the line. Just then, there was a hard yank and the line jerked. Kyle forward. He fell overboard and landed headfirst in the water. Later, Kyle and Carson laughed and laughed about the little fish that was big enough to pull him out of the boat. So this is something that's kind of funny, right? How they laughed. It also has a plot. So if it has a plot, it is entertaining us. It's also telling us a story. So it has a beginning, a middle, and how it ends because he fell out of the boat. All right, and last but not least, D is to describe, and this is when the author uses figurative language, sensory details, adjectives tell about a topic. So if you look here at all our examples, these are a bunch of words. So descriptive words, adjectives. So this is when you're able to visualize a piece of writing. So for example, the sand is the most gentle hue of gold, almost earthened and muted, the humble star of the scene. I love this beach. I love the driftwood that comes upon the buoyant waves in the tiny rescue boats. There is seaweed from Flora, from the salty wave, the deep green of high summer foliage. My favorite, though, of everything that's here upon the softly rolling dunes is the tall, tall grass that whispers so sweetly against the cresting breeze. So we see there's some personification. The sand is being compared to gold. That's our metaphor. So those are figurative language. It's giving us details, tiny rescue boats, the seaweed, the flora, our flowers, salty waves, it's the deep green, the tall, tall grass, the softly rolling dunes, some more personification. So giving those descriptive details. So that's kind of like our poem Oranges that we looked at when, you know, they're having or using those figurative language devices and sensory details. So these are a few reasons why people write a text or the way they do. So think Pied to help you. And we're going to go through and we're going to practice.